So Trey Hendrickson spoke out on why he's in Florida. And also spoke out about the whole situation with the contract completely failing and going to all bloody heck. Let's talk about it. So, speaking with Diana Rossini, the star pass rusher said he's in Jacksonville training after he didn't get what he wanted during negotiations with the franchise. So, kind of what I figured is he's going to most likely be in Florida for the next couple months during training camp and preseason. Again, to pretty much just train, continue to get better, but also probably to stay away from the team. Kind of keep himself distance, kind of keep the distractions at a minimum, and kind of work on that. He said, I spent the last 30 days at my home in Cincinnati, which is across from the river from the stadium. Hendrickson told the outlet, we were given 2 offers within 24-hour period, and neither of them had the guarantees we were looking for. I wanted to be there, but there's no way I would be able to sit there in the house and hear the practice whistles while also being a distraction. I don't want to ruin the other 10 guys' 2025 season on my contract language. So, okay, hold up. So he received 2 offers within 24 hours. Obviously, it looks like now this is confirmed. It's the guarantees. It's a guarantee. The Bengals only want to guarantee 1 year. He wants most likely a fully guaranteed contract. So it looks like they might have the money worked out completely and the years worked out completely. It's literally just the guarantees at this point. It's just the fact that the Bengals do not want to guarantee him a fully guaranteed contract or even 60-70% guaranteed. They just want to guarantee 1 year. In case after 1 year he gets hurt or there's problems or setbacks, they just want to guarantee 1 year. Which, again, you do have to keep in mind and think of it this way. If he is fully healthy and he does, play the whole contract, then there is no issue. Guaranteed contracts, yes, very, very important because if a player gets hurt or whatever, it keeps that player there. Or if a player isn't, performing to the level that you want him to, you can cut him or trade him. Which, of course, he could also put a no-trade clause in this contract, also. But anyway, so, that's the point of guarantees is to kind of, protect the player from, losing their job. But, again, this kind of goes to a lot of other players, but if you do live up to expectations, and let's say over the next 3-4 years, he is putting up great numbers, he is playing games, he is doing everything he's supposed to, he's still going to be able to do all those things, even if it wasn't 100% guaranteed. The only thing is, it's the risk of what if he's not able to. Which is then, again, more reason why the Bengals are not going to, try to help that out because that's also their risk. So it's one of those situations where it's as a player, I 1000% understand why players want fully guaranteed contracts because you don't want to take the risk. But from a team standpoint, it also makes perfect sense because hey, if you're going to be fine and everything's going to work out and you're telling me everything will work out, well, in the next 4 years, you shouldn't need a fully guaranteed contract. We'll guarantee you for a year, but after that, you should be able to have faith in yourself, have faith that you're not going to get injured or have any setbacks. But again, injuries you can never predict. These are things that happen to every single player, and they're like buttholes. They stink, but they're still there, right? And that's how injuries work. All right, so I was more willing to take less in some ways in order to make a deal work to accomplish the present needs. I verbalized to the Bengals that I wanted to be captain to lead young defenses. And once rookie Shamar Stewart gets back in camp, I want to pass along the knowledge I have, like Cam Jordan once did for me. As I see it, Shamar and I are not competitors. We're teammates. I'm excited to go back to work when the time comes. So I will say this does paint. Now, I mean, this is a player's point of view, right? So this is going to paint the team in the most awful way possible. And it's not that he's directly doing that. He's not directly saying, "Look, this team's fault," but he's kind of saying, "Hey, listen, I'm just doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm doing everything that, literally, I'm supposed to do. The team's the one who's holding this back and stopping this from happening." Which, it is what it is. At the end of the day, so he doesn't want to sit home and listen to the whistles and be a distraction, so he's in Jacksonville, Florida, working out. So he wants to be as far away as possible from Cincinnati to not be a distraction, not hear the whistles, and, not pretty much get his mental health probably in a worse spot because of that. He will take less money if he gets to be a captain. Okay. I don't know. It's just like, this situation is so frustrating, and it's been so frustrating over so long now. So he's willing to take less to make the deal work, but he's not willing to take less in guarantees. So he'll take less money than he technically wants or thinks he's worth, but he's not going to take less in guarantees. And the Bengals are, they're kind of in their, hey, we're not going to take less guarantees. So this is a situation where, based on what I've seen here, where it seems like Trey is kind of saying, in a way, listen, as soon as they agree to my guarantees, I'll be right back at training camp, I'll be right back practicing, and I'll be right back doing everything I'm supposed to. All they have to do is agree to my guarantees. That's really what it sounds like. Could he say, I'll take less money, I'll take less to make the deal work? Like he's saying here is he'll do everything he can to make this deal work, but they have to meet him with the guarantees. Which, this is why Duke Tobin and Mike Brown and everyone was so confirmed that this contract was going to get done. And this contract was going to get worked out. Because if you really look at it, it seems like it would. It's just the guarantees. And yeah, I definitely think the Bengals are going to be kind of hard set on this of not letting this happen. The more than 1 year guaranteed. As a man, he's amazing. I don't think anyone in Cincinnati has a bigger heart. I understand this is part of business. I don't want to repeat my actions at mandatory minicamp. I have a great relationship with Zach Taylor. I want to keep it that way. The Bengals want me in Cincinnati, and I want to be in Cincinnati. So, kind of going back to the fact that, no, he's not leaving. He's not getting traded. He's not going anywhere. Again, this is a situation where it's like, again, it comes down to that guaranteed contract and guaranteeing more than 1 year. So if the Bengals come out and say, hey, listen, we're going to guarantee you 2 out of 3 years or maybe like a certain percentage, then this contract would get done and we would move on. Again, doesn't mean, I don't know. This is such a frustrating thing because at some point, I said this before, at some point you just get it done. Okay? At some point, it's not worth all this crap and all this setback and all these distractions and all these problems. At some part, it's worth more to get it done than it is for the cost to deal with all this crap. You kind of value it. Okay, so at what point am I spending way too much time, energy, and all this stuff worrying about this when I could just get this done and it would cost me a lot, but it would be a lot less in the long run than it would dealing with this stuff. So, yeah, it is frustrating, but hey, it is what it is. Who dey, boys, who dey?